Hey, it's Amy. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. It's the start of a new year, and like most, I have made a few goals for myself. One of them being drinking more water, but another is staying injury-free, as well as being faster, but that's a whole other video. So I compiled a few things that I'm personally going to do and thought I would share it with you. But before I get into it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you get notified every time I upload a new video. So let's talk about a few tips to help you run and stay injury-free. If you've been around my channel for a while, the first thing on my list may or may not surprise you, and that is strength training. I cannot stress the importance of adding or continuing on doing strength training. I've also been doing bike as cross training, but I still really want to make sure that I'm doing strength training. To continue improving as a runner, unfortunately, I and many others cannot just run. If you don't believe me, look at some of the elite runners, and a lot of them, most of them, do strength training. As much as I would just love to go run, unfortunately, it's not enough. I mean, of course you can just run, but for me, I want to get faster and stay more injury-free, and to do that, I need to strengthen my ligaments and tendons and just have stronger muscles. I believe that having stronger muscles helps with endurance, especially when I'm trying to run faster, and if I have stronger muscles, I won't tire quite as soon, especially when I'm trying to, keep getting PRs and, pushing my body to run faster. I need the strength in my muscles to kind of help me do that. When I first initially lost access to gyms in 2020, and I honestly haven't been to a gym since then, but anyways, I really think that that's led or contributed to my IT band issue, which kind of took me out for at least 4 months from training, or maybe a little less, but it was not fun. I will not say that doing strength training will keep you injury-free, but it sure does help. So a few tips to incorporate strength training in your schedule is do it immediately after your run. If I don't do strength training right after my run, there's a very, very strong likelihood that I will not do it later on. Even if I tell myself, oh yeah, I'm gonna do strength later, I probably won't do it. I like to do my strength training on my medium hard days, so then I have easy days, really easy, and I'm gonna talk about that later on in the video. I don't know why I pointed down. A little strength is better than a zero strength. I honestly do around 15 to 20 minutes of strength training. Maybe I should do one longer one, but for now that's been working in my schedule. After doing a running workout and coming home, I'm like, oh, I'm so tired, and the first few minutes of my strength training kind of feels a little icky, but then I feel so much better. Shocking. Few different routines that I do for myself that I've kind of made up, so I know kind of what I want to target each time, and I kind of do full body strength. I don't really specifically target I'm gonna just do a leg day, I'm gonna just do an arm day, etc. For me, I just find doing kind of targeting different exercises but kind of all over my body just works better for me. How about you? What do you like to do? Every runner is different and has different kind of needs for strength training and different weaknesses and imbalances. So if you're not sure of what you need to specifically target, I would go see a physio or a strength coach and see if they can give you specific exercises to fit your needs. For me personally, I've been working on glute strength especially, and my core. Again, just being consistent makes a huge difference. You don't have to do these huge, ginormous workouts to be effective, but just, again, keeping it consistent and adding it into your schedule is just such a game changer, or so I found. The second thing on my list is that I'm gonna try running on different terrain. For example, trails, or just something softer than the road. Since moving to Nova Scotia, it's a lot easier to get to trails, and I consider myself very lucky. When I lived downtown Toronto, it was a lot harder to get kind of outside of the concrete jungle or whatever they call it these days, but you'd have to either go up north or have a car, which I didn't. Every city has areas to run in, and if you're not sure of what trails to go to, call your local running store and they surely will know some trails for you to go running on, as hopefully everyone there runs. For myself, I love going to Point Pleasant Park in Halifax. It's a gravel and it's kind of hard to run fast on, but as soon as I get on it, I'm like, oh, this just feels so much softer than the hard cement or asphalt. As well, my husband and I want to go on some trails, and we've gone on a few, but it's been really fun just exploring Nova Scotia and just, yeah, seeing trails or walking on trails and doing a few runs, but I'm hoping to do more in this year. Be careful on trails, especially in the winter, as it might not be maintained. As well, it is sometimes harder to do speed workout on them, though if it's well groomed, I'm sure you're fine, but if it's kind of uneven, maybe save those for easy runs. It's so fun getting a change of scenery, and physically and mentally, it just really feels good. We were in the south part of Nova Scotia the other week, and we went for a run on this trail, and the kilometers just flew by. It's so peaceful to get into nature, especially just escaping from the city, and it just, yeah, I'm really enjoying it. But don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna switch over to being a trail runner. I just love the road too much, but watch I say this and end up doing a trail race and laugh at myself for saying this. But for now, I'm sticking to the road. But for easy recovery runs, the trail is so nice. If you can't get to a road, often tracks have a really nice surface. Though I probably wouldn't suggest doing a whole long run going one direction on the track. Your body may explode. If you're able to maybe switch directions halfway through, just depending on the rules of the track. So just be careful that you mind what each track's specific guidelines or rules are. As well, the road is much softer than the sidewalk, but be very, very careful of traffic and cyclists and pedestrians, and just, yeah, be very mindful of where you are, where you're running. But the road is softer. So again, I'm excited to try some different trails in Nova Scotia, and if you have any suggestions of where I should go and explore, please tell me in a comment below. The third thing on my list is foam rolling and mobility. I can really feel it when I skip foam rolling for a few days and doing mobility work too. My body just feels stuck and tight, and I feel a lack of range of motion, and I just don't feel quite as good. When you foam roll, it really does help you kind of release these tight spots, and just again, if you don't have full range of motion, then your body will have to kind of compensate, and then you will just bad things will happen, possibly get injured, and it's just better to obviously have full range of motion. So when you foam roll, it's a form of self-myofascial release, and it just helps you get your body, kind of check in with your body, make sure that it's working properly. And if it's not, I highly recommend going to an RMT, a physio, a chiro, whatever you go to, but just to get checked in, and they can help you feel better, hopefully. I love this foam roller, and I talked about it in another video which I'll have up here, but this is the R4 from Roll Recovery, and I just love this groove, and it's the best. But honestly, any foam roller will do. This is just my favorite. I also like using the R8 roller from Roll Recovery. Can you see a trend? I also have their foot roller. It's the best, but anyways, this is really good. It kind of complements each other, so I like using them both. The best time I find personally to use my foam roller in the R8 is watching TV before I go to bed. It kind of distracts me from foam rolling and makes me feel productive while watching TV. My husband and I kind of take turns. I use a foam roller, he uses the R8, and then we flip-flop. Yes, we're so cool. But then I go to bed feeling so much better because things are kind of moving a little better, and it just kind of relaxes me and helps me sleep better too. I find there's just so many things to do as a runner. I don't know if it's just me, I find it overwhelming. It's like, oh, I gotta do strength training, I gotta do mobility work, I gotta do foam rolling, I have to do cross training, I have to rest though. There's just a lot. So if you can kind of incorporate your mobility and foam rolling while doing something like watching TV, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like, oh, I have to do another thing. I don't know, it just helps me. Same with when I'm doing strength training after my run, it kind of just feels like it's a part of my run, so it's just an added addition to it, rather than just like, oh, gotta go now do strength training. Speaking of mobility, I also kind of incorporate that when I'm doing strength training so that, again, it's not a separate thing. I don't spend like 20 minutes doing mobility, maybe I should do more, but just incorporating some movements into my strength training kind of session, it just helps. But yeah, I just find doing a little is better than doing nothing at all. So I will do, I could always do more, but for now, I'm happy that I'm even doing mobility and strength training and foam rolling and etc. The last thing I'm going to talk about, though there's so much more I could have just added to this video, and if I did, it would have been hours long. So for now, the last thing I'm going to kind of talk about is keeping easy days easy and rest days. It is so easy to get pulled into the Strava, comparing yourself to other runners kind of mindset. I honestly don't really look at Strava anymore other than to upload my workouts and keep track of my workouts, so I write what I did, as well as strength training and just the kilometers I ran, as well as keeping track of the shoes, which again is very important to do because it will tell me when I need to buy more shoes, which is always. Too many times people run their easy runs too fast, and I'm very aware that I have fallen into this trap many times. You want to make sure you do your easy runs by effort, and you never want to be kind of pushing yourself or straining yourself on your easy runs. If you're pushing yourself and go strong on all of your easy runs, when you get to your workout days, you may not be able to hit your paces, and you might just burn out in general or get injured. I've looked back at my old running journals when I first started really training, and I did like all of my runs the same exact speed, like really fast, especially compared to what pace I was running then. My easy runs were definitely not easy. I think I was subconsciously worried that if I ran slow, it would make me be slow in general. I don't know why I thought that, and it made sense at the time, but now I'm glad I know better. I'm not saying you have to run like snail slow. Again, effort base is super critical. After running consistently for four years, I can't remember, but my paces have definitely gotten faster, including my easy pace. But I'm very conscious of not forcing myself on my easy pace. You can't compare yourself to someone else's easy pace or runs because you are not them, they are not you, your bodies are different, so why should your runs and pace be the same? I know it's kind of like, oh, I don't want to seem slow on Strava, but who cares? It's your own running kind of journey, and it's not anyone else's. So you want to make sure that you're, taking care of your body and listening to it and not pushing yourself on your easy runs. I'm like preaching to myself. I'm sure Molly Seidel's easy pace is much faster than mine, but she's a much more experienced and professional runner and I'm not, so it's okay. You can also start your run at a slightly slower pace and then get going because your body is still warming up, and as me, I like to run early in the morning, so I'm not quite awake always, but it just gives your body a chance to kind of get moving and warmed up. Of course, it's a very good idea to do some activations before your run, then your body is all warmed up. And if you need a routine to do before or after your run, I'll have links for the ones I've created in the description below. I also want to make sure that I'm sleeping enough, and on my easy or off days, just taking it easy and not just trying to cram everything on my off or just easy day. Sleep is critical for repair, growth, and mental health, and just a lot of things. We're trying to be better at going to bed not too late and making sure we're getting a solid at least 8 hours of sleep every night. How do you keep your easy days easy? Let me know in a comment below. I know there's so many other things I could have talked about in this video, but those are kind of 4 general ones that I'm really trying to focus on this year. How about you? What are you doing to stay injury-free this year? Tell me in a comment below. As always, if you like this video, tap that thumbs up button. Happy running and stay hydrated, and I'll see you later.